Assalamu alaikum. This is here the first video in the playlist for Arabic for beginners. So we'll start with these letters. These are the alphabet in the Arabic language. So if we look at the whole set here, you see these circled letters, that's the individual letter when you write it by itself. These here are the names for it, how you call it. So this is ba, this is ba, that's the name for it. The ta is ta, and so on. So I circled these letters here. These are the alphabet. I will not go into all of them. I'll just do a few of them to make these videos short. So here we have letters written separately, so without their names. So we will cover these now. Here this is an a, that's the hamza. So now as a beginner, just worry about the sound of it. The names for these letters and grammar terms, I will not go into too much. It's a beginner's course. So the sound of this letter here is a, this hamza here, a. So here I wrote that letter, this letter here, this a by itself. Now this here is a word, and this hamza is, or this letter a, is written at the beginning of it. So the way you pronounce it is a. The reason I say a, not e, because of this diacritic or vowel, a short vowel mark. You will not see these on all texts, but they are in some text or educational text to let you know how to pronounce this letter. So there is three ways you can go with pronouncing a letter. It's either, let's say this is a ba, bu, b. So to know which way to go with the letter, you have these short vowels. This here is a, ba. This here is u. So we will not cover these now. We just worry about these letters, but you will know what these are in the future. As I said, we will make these videos short and cover just enough for you to be able to review as much as you want. So this a here, you can pronounce it as the n. You see here this n, sometimes it will be at the bottom of this shape, like this letter shaped like one in English. So sometimes it's at the bottom of it. If it's at the bottom, it's I, as in in. It makes the same sound as in. When you say in, that's the same sound there. If you say an, you see that that's the a there. That's the a sound, an. Here, this word here is ard, which means land. So if you try to remember this noun, ard is land. So you say ard, you see this a here? That's the sound of this letter. If you remember this word ard, which means land, you will remember this letter with it. So ard. This circle here, small circle, this is indicates no movement. So this ra here, r, we will cover later, has no movement on it in this word. So that's how you know how to pronounce the word. So ard. Don't worry about pronouncing these now, but it's approximation to the stressed ta, but try to listen to it. The only way you can get it right is to try to listen to it and try to approximate it. So ard. So this is land, ard. The second one is ba, this ba here, as in bed. So here, these words, I gave the same color that I gave to this letter when it's written within a word, like this. So you see how it changed the shape, kept the beginning of it, then the other letter, the a here, came in here, and it changed the way it's written. So this ba, bab. In this word you have another ba here, and it looks just like this one. So bab. This one is door. Bab. The reason I know how to say ba, not bu or b, is because of this. This indicates ba, bab. Here is this ta. This ta here. This is the ta, as in time. Here it's written in a word, to. You see how it at the beginning of the word, how it looks? To. There's 2 dots on it. This u is the short vowel, tells me to pronounce it as tu. So it's not ta or t, it's tu. Tuffah. Tuffah. If you can recognize these sounds now and try to remember the word tuffah, tuffah, that means apples. And that's how this letter is pronounced, ta, with this short vowel, ta. The 4th letter we will cover today is this tha, tha. This one here, tha. So here I wrote the word thaum, thaum. You see how I pronounce it, tha? There is no movement, this o stays as it is. As I said, don't worry about knowing these for now. Just worry about whatever we cover here. This tha here, tha, tha. This here is Thor. It's like the tha in Thor. Or thin, thick. So this is Thor. Thor. In Arabic it also means bull. Bull is Thor. So you have the same word that sounds like it. Thor. Tha. Thaum is garlic. This is garlic here. Thaum. Thaum. At the end of this video, I will show the titles for these books and list the links for them. Now here we have qalab. This is a word, qalam. Qalam. This here is the diacritics I talked about. This qa, qala, qala, qalam. This means pen. So that's pen. Or pencil, qalam. Here the letters are broken down. That's the qa there. That's the L there. And that's the M. As I said, just worry about the ones we covered. This is just extra way of letting you know how these letters change. This here is daftar. 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 So here these letters are separated. Daftar. Daftar. So this is just an introduction to these letters. We will cover more as we go, but there is one point I want to emphasize to help you make or think how to think about this grammar. These movements that I talked about, within the word itself, they're fixed. The only time they change is at the end. And that's what the whole grammar is about, changing the movement at the end. But not all words go under that change. You don't have to worry about changing the end of all words. So in this highlighted area, the statement covers all the words that do not change, or they do not go under the change of grammar. And they're used often. So all the letters have fixed movements. So that's one thing, all the letters. And this includes some words that have 2 alphabetic letters, like by, for, to. All these are called letters in Arabic, and they all have fixed movements. And these you will see them in text all over because they connect verbs to nouns. And they connect nouns. So that's a big chunk of the language have fixed movements, and you will see them all the time. That's one thing. All the verbs except for the present tense. So all the verbs have fixed movements. So if it's imperative, if you're giving a command, or it's in the past tense, they all have fixed movements. So that's another part of the language, have fixed movements. So you don't have to worry about changing these short vowels at the letters. And as you can see, past tense, imperative, they exist a lot in the language. Some nouns, like pronouns, which they attach to a lot of verbs and nouns. So those also have fixed diacritics. Other nouns like الذي, the one who, or التي, the one who for a feminine. Those are fixed movements. Indicating nouns like this, that, all these have fixed movements. The conditional nouns like if, then in English, or whoever, whatever, all these have fixed movements. So I just wanted to cover this in the first video. This way you will know what to expect. And now you know about what diacritics are, these movements, what they do, and some of the letters we covered and how they look. So you can pause the video at any section just to get familiar with it. Next time, inshallah, we cover the rest. I want to go with these slowly. This way you have a short video, you can replay and take your time taking a look at the information in it. Now I'll just cover the books I'm using in this list. So this book here is for elementary school. This was provided by New York University. It's an old book in the public domain now. You can get these books from the Arabic collections online. So this is the same book here for elementary schools, the first series. This here for the second grade for elementary school. This is the author here. And that's the information about the book. This is more information. This is the Lebanese Republic, the Ministry of Arts and Education section of the Arabic language. So language here. So here they discuss what's in the book. This is one book. The second book is this book here from the Ministry of Knowledge for grammar for the elementary school. So these books are designed for elementary school natives, for natives in elementary schools. That's why I will not follow the letter of these books. I will have to adapt it because you have a video now. You're watching a video and we have different way of explaining things for a non-native. So if you download these books, don't expect me to go through the exactly what they have in there, because some of this book here and the other book, a good part of it is for the teacher to tell him how to explain the subject. So when you get advanced into this, you'll start to notice that I don't talk about what they tell the teacher to say or not to say or how to go about teaching it. So that I should point out. You see, this here is 1922. The other one was 1912. So these books are in the public domain. So I will leave the link in the description and I will add it to the screen. Thank you for listening. See you next time, inshallah.